So last week I extended an invitation. I talked about how Advent was about to begin. In fact, it has begun. And I talked about how Advent is this 4-week season of the church year designed to prepare us for Christmas, to make room in our hearts for the coming of Christ. 4 weeks to do that. And I suggested last week that those 4 weeks correspond pretty nicely to the 4 Gospels, to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And the invitation I extended last week was to bring those together, to bring those 4 weeks and those 4 Gospels together, to take a week of Advent and read a Gospel. And so that brings us to the Gospel of Mark. Mark is a story of Jesus that is told in 2 parts. It's a drama with 2 acts. First 10 chapters present Jesus as this powerful miracle worker, this mighty man of God, bursts on the scene and starts doing things. He's just busy, busy, busy. He routs evil. He subdues nature. He reverses the forces of death and disease. At every turn, Jesus is doing amazing things. So, sort of like this rock. I was told years ago that a rock with edges like this does not naturally occur in nature. When you find a rock like this, you can be sure that there has been a force that has worked it. And that's kind of what we see Jesus doing in the first 10 chapters of Mark. He's changing things. He's powerfully impacting the world around him. But all that stops about chapter 11 of the Gospel of Mark. No more miracles after chapter 10. At chapter 11, to the end of the Gospel, Jesus becomes powerless. He becomes the suffering servant. He empties himself and becomes obedient even to the point of death. Even on the cross, Jesus is taunted by his opponents, challenging him to come down off the cross, to do something miraculous, mighty, to save himself. Another rock, I think, best illustrates that. This is a rock that I found in a creek, and it's clearly been worked, but not like that rock. This rock has been gently formed. The passage of water over this rock has smoothed it and rounded it over hundreds, maybe even thousands of years. And this is really the image of the power of God that we see in the second part of the Gospel of Mark. And so Mark presents us with these 2 images of power, the power of God. Mighty power, forceful power, gentle power, subdued power, focused power. So I'm going to invite you this week to do what Advent begs us to do, to think about Jesus, and to do that by approaching the Gospel of Mark. Read the Gospel of Mark this week. It won't take long, 16 chapters. You can do that in an hour. And as you read it, pay attention to the forceful image of Jesus in the first 10 chapters and the gentle, emptied of power Jesus in the last 5 Gospels. And ask yourself as you read, where do I expect God to be at work in my life? We expect this. We want this. More often than not, this is the power of God that works gently in our lives. This Advent, as you read Mark, ask yourself, will the power of God that I see in the weakness of the cross be the power of God that transforms my life and my world?